be here. Happy Halloween. I gotta think of something to say. I want to say something different than like Happy Halloween. Like I want to put my name in it, but I don't know if it's gonna work. Maybe Happy Halloween. Oh, I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. I know some people call it like Vlogmas when it comes to Christmas, but I don't know if it's particularly a name to use for Halloween. So I know all you can see is my face. Kind of get in the spirit because I'm going to be talking about something related to Halloween. I do have a candle going. It's actually my Yankee Candle Witch's Brew. Witch's Brew is, and I know I've explained this before, is my all-time, probably one of my all-time favorite candles. There's two candles I really love, and that's the Witch's Brew, and there's one candle from Moline. There's a hotel in Moline, Illinois. It was actually the hotel that we did my sister's graduation party, college graduation party at. It's a hotel that we stayed at. It's in downtown Moline. I think it's called, I know it starts with E. It's kind of new. I think it's only a year or two old. I can't think of the name right now. Just Google hotel in Moline that starts with E. I'm sure it will come up. It's a brand spanking new hotel. It was like built in like a warehouse, and they made the warehouse like into a hotel. But anyways, I'll probably think of it, and if I just blurt out a name that starts with E, well, that's it. So I don't know how much time I have to talk because my parents could be home any minute because it's 8:40 and I don't know what time they're coming home. My mom is out to dinner, and she's been out to dinner for a couple hours now, and she's just out with my dad's coworker's wife. What I mean by that is my dad obviously had coworkers in the fire department. As a firefighter, he had coworkers. So my mom and my dad's coworkers' wives get together at Chiggy's, Brandy's in Hanover Park, like once a month, and just talk about firefighters, like stuff, I don't know, and eat. And that's where my mom is. It's kind of hard to explain who she's actually with. I hope you guys get who she's with. She's with friends, but the friends that she's at are wives of retired firefighters. But anyways, and I think there may be a lady there that was a firefighter paramedic. I'm not quite sure off the bat who goes. But anyways, so I don't know when they're going to be home. I was actually not expecting them to be out this late. I mean, I don't care because they're adults, but they can be out as long as they want. But I was actually expecting them to be home before 8 o'clock, but anyways, so I started to do this video a couple hours ago. I tried to do this video, but then my mom came home and I had to quit. So this week, my dad and I and my dad, I'm going to try to put up some decorations. This is normally the time of year that we start to do it. We don't like to do it. I mean, I personally would put them up in April if I could. Okay, I love Halloween. Okay, I'm obsessed with Halloween. I love everything about Halloween. I know some people are so obsessed that they'll keep decorations up all year. Well, the only decorations we put up are outside. We don't put up, I mean, I do put up a few decorations up by the front door, but I only put a few up by the front door because the trick-or-treaters see the decorations by the front door. So we put up maybe 2% of decorations inside, and they're literally only by the front door. The rest of the house we don't decorate because we don't really have anything to decorate the house with, because 90% of our stuff, 95% of our stuff, the stuff we have are outside stuff, outdoor stuff. But hence the reason why we can't keep it up all year. But I know some people are so obsessed with Halloween that they keep the stuff up all year. Well, it's kind of hard when the stuff is outdoor stuff, if you know what I mean. But anyways, this is normally the time we start to do it. We normally start to do it the first week of October. Some years we do it a little bit early, like the last week of September. I know one week we had it up like before 9/11. We had the stuff up, but I think it was because it was a little colder, and we knew that snow was coming, and like we knew that the ground was gonna get frozen. Because my dad always tells me we try to do it as soon as possible because we stick some stuff in the ground, like a fence we have like a cemetery, and we stick stuff in for the fence, and then we put like a couple ghosts and gravestones up. So we can't obviously put the stuff in if the ground's frozen. So that's why we always try to do at least the cemetery right away. So I know like one year we had it up before 9/11, but that was only one year. Some years we do it this week, the first week of October. Some years we do it the second week of October. Some years we do it like the last week of September. It really depends, but I'm going to try to do it this week. Normally it takes us a few days to do it. Normally it would take us a couple days to do it. For example, if we do it Friday, we'll probably be able to get it done on Monday, maybe Tuesday. I'm probably saying Tuesday just because Friday I don't have a whole day to do it. I only have half a day. Now, obviously, you can't really do it once the sunset is down. So, I mean, you probably could, but it would be hard. So, it normally takes us about a weekend to do it, to be honest. A week. Not a week. Sometimes. To be honest, I'm normally still putting up stuff, like even the week of Halloween. But, anyways. So, I will try to do a video before and after. I know I tried to do one last year, but obviously last year was hectic because we didn't start putting up the stuff until like the last 2 weeks before Halloween. Like we had the Halloween decorations up for maybe a week and a half, because it took us so long to do it. And that kind of upsets me. Like, I get it because my dad has a job and I don't. So I have all the time in the world. And my dad doesn't because he has a job. And I get that. And I get that my dad is getting old and it's getting harder on him. And like I mentioned before, it may sound like he does all the work, but I really do help out. I really do stuff that I can do. Like, if I can do it and I can hang it up and I can nail it or do whatever, I'm able to do it. But there's some stuff that I literally physically, mentally can't do. I'll be like, Dad, how do you do this? He'll give it to me, let me do it. And it's like, okay, you want me to help? No, get out of my way. And it's like, okay, you know. So I understand he's getting older and harder, but last year we didn't do it just because we really did one out at a time. Last year we probably put up maybe 20% of the stuff we have. We barely put up anything last year, so it was a little depressing, especially being that it was my dog's last year. It was my first year without my grandma, so it was a little saddening. It's a little sad, if you know what I mean, not to have her there. So, anyways, so I'm going to talk about pumpkins. Now, probably thinking, well, how much can I talk about pumpkins? Well, I ain't no expert when it comes to pumpkins, but I like pumpkins. I like pumpkin pie. Pumpkin scent is not my favorite scent. I know some people are obsessed about it. Hence the reason why I don't have like freaking 40 Bath and Body Works candles. When it comes to the fall candles at Bath and Body Works, I only technically have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5. One is technically a Halloween one, but I have like 4 or 5 Bath and Body Works fall candles compared to like the 40 options they have you can pick from. Because a lot of them don't smell good. For example, blueberry waffle pumpkin pie. I like blueberry pumpkin waffle. Blueberry pumpkin spice cup vanilla cupcake. Like I said, there's not too many fall candles. So pumpkin's not my favorite. Like, I like pumpkin pie. Okay. A couple times a year I will eat pumpkin pie, like during Halloween or Thanksgiving. Pumpkin pie is okay. But I'm not as big when it comes to the pumpkin. It's the taste of it and the smell of it. I don't hate it, but I know some people like it more than others, I guess. But I'm not a huge fan of it. But, so pumpkins. So, if you're from the area of Streamwood, whether you live in Streamwood, or you're from Streamwood and you move somewhere else, or maybe you're from like Bartlett, or maybe you're from Schaumburg, or Hoffman Estates, or Hanover Park. You don't particularly really have to be from Streamwood, but if you're from Streamwood, like I am, you should know what I'm talking about. They have a place called Hoosier Grove. Hoosier Grove, or Barn. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's a little hard for me to pronounce that with my impairment, speech impairment. Hoosier Grove, or Hoosier Park, however you want to say it. It's a place where they used to sell pumpkins. And about 4 or 5 years ago, it shut down. Kind of that unexpected. And it was hard to believe because that place was actually kind of hopping come fall. That's where people that are from my town, like me and my family, that's like where we went for pumpkins and hay and corn and gourds and apple cider. That was like the known place to go. Now, yes, like this grocery stores like Walmart and Sam's and Target probably had pumpkins too, but it wasn't as festive to go somewhere like Walmart or Target or Sam's Club compared to as festive as it is to go to the barn. I'm just gonna call it the barn. Hoosier Grove Barn. I'm just gonna say barn. So it was a tradition, you know, eh? It was like a tradition to do it. You know, there were times when we were young, me and my family, and you know, my cousins and my aunts and uncles and my cousins and my mom, my dad, my sister, with grandparents, we would all go as a family, all 21 of us. We would go, and we would just go there for like a couple hours and hang out and pick pumpkins and hay and corn and gourds and all that. And you know, they had a few games there, like what do you call it? Why am I going so blank right now? Bags, cornhole, whatever you want to call that game. It's a Chicago thing where you throw the bing bag into the hole. They had that game. They had like a couple cutouts where you could stick your head through and be like a cat or like a witch. Not gonna cackle. I can't cackle. But or like they had like a zombie or like a mummy. So they had like a few fun things to do, and they sold like apple cider. And the place that you would go and you would weigh your pumpkins and you would pay it. They had like a table that was like decorated with Halloween decorations and had a few decorations you can buy and stuff you can buy. I think everything on the table was for sale. But the people that owned it or ran it or worked there, some years would make like cookies or like pumpkin bread or something, and they would sell the cookies or the bread. You know, and the apple cider was always good. I like mine cold personally, but they had, you know, big pumpkins. They had like little pumpkins. They had this like canopy that was built from, it was like made of wood, like the structure of it, but like it was covered with corn husks or like corn, the things that corn grow on. I call it like a corn husks. I hope you understand what I mean. It's the thing that corn grows on. Like the thing that you would pick the corn from. It was made of that, and you would just walk through it. It was pretty much just a dark, it wasn't super dark, but like, you pretty much just walk through it. It took you like 5 seconds to walk through it. And I would always bring Baxter through it. It would get freaked out a few times, but nothing was in there that would pop out or scare you or anything. So it was a fun thing to do, you know, it was a fun place to go. And as we got older, obviously it was just me, my mom, my dad, my sister, and my dog, and my grandparents. But it was where we went for pumpkins. It was just something we had to do. And then they would have this thing called Pumpkin Fest. Now, I'm not sure if they still do it. That's because the last several years, we stopped going up there. And I'll explain why. But Pumpkin Fest is something that happens the first week of October. I think it might be this week. I don't know when it is, or if it's even a thing still. Because normally they'll put up a sign saying Pumpkin Fest, October 2nd, or October 5th. But I haven't seen any signs lately, so I don't even know if Pumpkin Fest is still a thing. Even if it is, we don't really go up there anymore. But when we did, they used to have this doggy contest, where you would take your dog up there, and you would have to go a few hours before to sign your dog in. They had a dog contest, a cat, and a rabbit, even though the dog was obviously more popular than the cat and the rabbits. But each category was $1. And I don't know what the money went towards, but every time you wanted to put your dog in a category to try to win something, it would be like $1. And Baxter Boy, the years we took him up there like a couple years, like 3 or 4 years, we would take him up there and put him in the doggy contest. And we would put him in the category of handsomest male, so most beautiful male dog. So most handsomest, handsome fella. He was such a handsome fella. I miss that dog so much. Handsome fella. Cutest female. So the male dog and the female dog would go in a competition of who's the cutest between the males and the females. They would pick a cute female would be a winner, and then the male would be a winner too. They had like best trick. Baxter only knew sit and paw. That was the only trick he knew. We put him in the category of best costume sometimes. Longest tail. What was some of the other things? Loudest bark. He didn't really bark. So there was a few times where Baxter would win first place. Cutest dog in Streamwood. Male dog in Streamwood. There were a few years where he won second. There was 3 years we took him up there, he won first. I think 1 year he won second, and I think 1 year he won third. But, okay, stupid dog, I'm sorry, okay, here we go. I'm like literally holding the candle on my lap. Oh my goodness. I'm an adult. Okay. Oh my god. Trying to like hold it, but like not knock it over. Okay. It's a little better. I literally have it bouncing on my lap. I'm holding it, but excuse me. And, during Pumpkin Fest, they would have, like, the animal contest, dog contest. I think they had a few categories for the cats and the rabbits, even though I'm not quite sure. They had, like, a kiddie race, like, the little kids that were, like, ages 3 to 7 could do, like a 1K race. Basically, run around the area and come in place. They had a hayride. Baxter Boy, my dog Baxter, loved the hayrides. Like, 1 year, we noticed that they had a hayride. By the time we went up there, they already stopped. So the next year we went, we asked the hayride operator, hey, can our dog come on? And he's like, as long as you buy him a ticket, I don't see why not. So we're like, ooh, cool. So we ran to the desk and we bought him a ticket. And we told the people, okay, we need free tickets. And they're like, free? There's only 2 of you. Well, a dog. Your dog? Yeah. Your dog wants to go on the hayride. And it's like, yeah, our dog wants to go on the hayride. So your dog told you, no, a dog doesn't talk. He's not a talking dog. I'm trying to think of a talking dog. I'm trying to think of any movies that have talking dogs in it besides Cat and Dogs. Anyways. Homeward Bound. She's like, what is this, Homeward Bound? And we're like, No, it's not Homeward Bound, and no, this is not Michael J. Fox speaking. We just know he wants to go on the hayride. Well, we gave you $5, give us a ticket, whatever. So he would go on the hayride, and he would sit on top of the hay and sit on our lap and just enjoy the hayride, Inside of the barn, my grandmother used to volunteer for the old schoolhouse, the historical center, because at the barn at Hoosier Grove, they have an old schoolhouse from like the 1900s. I think it was like the 1900s, like 1910 or something like that, 1909. I don't know what year it's from, but the 1900s. And my grandma used to volunteer there, trying to hold my phone in a different way. My hand's starting to hurt. And my grandma used to volunteer there. I don't know, maybe she worked there. I'm pretty sure it was volunteer. It seems like it would be a volunteer thing. And every year they would do a cakewalk. So pretty much what it was you would bake a bunch of stuff. My grandma would bake cookies and bread and cakes and stuff. And you would go inside of the barn and they would lay out a circle with paper. And each piece of paper said something different. You lose. You won a cake. Reverse. So it's kind of like musical chairs, but without the music. And one year we took Baxter in there, so it was closing time. And it was me and my mom and my sister and my dog. We took him inside the building when he probably wasn't allowed in the building, but we could care less. And he played Cakewalk. It was pretty much like musical chairs. It's just without the chairs. It was you walk on in a circle. When the music stops, you land on a piece of paper. You look down and see what it says and see what you won. If you lost, or go backwards or something. So that was fun. That was a fun year. But the last couple of years, we didn't take him up there just because he got too old. And get him up there involved with car ride. And it was just too difficult for him to go in the car. And we would have to wake up early, too. I would literally have to be there at like 8 o'clock to sign him up. And it started at like 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I don't know. I always remember having to go up there early. And the day before or the day of, we would wake up super early. Because depending on the year, some years, we didn't do this every year, but some years my mom would take him to go get a bath like the day before or the day of. Like there were a lot of times where, okay, we're going to go drop him off at PetSmart. He's going to get his bath. We're going to go and sign him up. By the time we sign him up, we'll go have breakfast at Panera or IHOP. We'll come back. We'll pick up the 4-ball. call it damn dog. We'll go pick up the damn dog. And then bring him here to the handsomest male contest when he's fully groomed. And, they had this thing at PetSmart that was called like the Ford debunker. Like it would take off, not all his fur, but all the extra fur. It was like a special machine that was known to take off the fur. He would look so handsome when my extra boy had a bath. He looked so handsome. I mean, he was always handsome, and he always looked pretty, obviously, and cute. But when he came out of that bath, oh, God. You would think every dog in the neighborhood would start growling and howling at him. I remember one year he had ticks. He had fleas. Actually, no, he had ticks. A couple years he had ticks. And my mom told me, I swear, one more time that goddamn dog has ticks, he's going bald. And it's like, you ain't going Britney Spears on him. I'm going to go Britney Spears on him if I see one more tick. I'm tired of picking off ticks on him. I got to dig through 6 layers of fur. And it's like, you ain't doing it. You understand. And this is the type of dog that if you shave him bald, he would look ugly. I hate to tell. Actually, I'm sorry. He would look ugly. He needs fur. That's what makes him handsome, is the fur. So I wouldn't obviously let my mom do it, but she wanted to do it. But it's like, no, you're not. He doesn't even like Britney Spears because of the drug problem, because he broke the windshield. But anyways, it's a fun place to go. And So after the place closed, I was like, great, now where we're gonna go for pumpkins and hay. And then we would just go to Sam's Club. Sam's Club was the place where we would go get pumpkins and hay. And Sam's Club had big pumpkins. Let me tell you, me and my sister, every time we would go up to the pumpkin patch in Streamwood, me and my sister used to always try to get the bigger pumpkin. Who can find the bigger, heavier pumpkin? I mean, we would always weigh it. Like one year she would get like a 20-pound pumpkin. One year I got like a 10-pound pumpkin. I mean, I don't know how much pumpkins normally weigh. I don't know if 15 pounds is too much for a pumpkin to weigh. I don't know if it's too light for a pumpkin. I don't know how much a pumpkin particularly weighs. But you get the idea, like, whoever had the heavier pumpkin won. And I would always try to get the bigger one, because in my opinion, the bigger pumpkin the better. I know some people like small ones, but my sister and I would always try to get the bigger pumpkin. And we would even get a pumpkin for my dog. Like, each and every year we had Baxter, we would give him a pumpkin. And some years we would draw a bone on it. Some years we would draw a dog print paw on it. Each and every year he had his own pumpkin. And people would love that. They would love to see that Baxter had his own pumpkin. They would be like, oh, we love your dog pumpkin. Like, the adults would come, and after the kids got their candy, they'll be like, one, we love your decorations. And two, we love your dog we love that your dog has a pumpkin. You know, they would, anyways, I'm not gonna get sad over my dog's pumpkin. So anywho, so for a couple years I would go to Sam's Club and get the pumpkins, because they had like the big Charlie Brown size pumpkins. I ain't talking about no Charlie Brown little Christmas tree that was like a twig. I'm talking about big pumpkins. Now, not like big pumpkins like you couldn't lift the pumpkin, big pumpkin, but big pumpkins. And for many years, for like 2-3 years, I would go there. And then the Sam's Club by us closed down. So technically the closest Sam's Club to us is Elgin. Not that that's particularly far, but from us it's about a 20-minute drive, because it's all the way on Randall Road. So it's not too terribly of a drive, but me and my parents, it's actually me, we found a new place on Lake Street. And it's called, I don't know the name of it. I just know it's on Lake Street. It's actually right by the funeral home. It's east of Lake Street on the south side. Just Google Garden Center, Lake Street. I'm sure it will narrow it down. It's like a gardening place. I think it's open yearly. It's open every day. Not every day, but they sell like outdoor stuff and gardening stuff. And for the past 2 years, me and my parents, we've gone there, because the last 3-4 years we've gone there, my sister's been in college. And that's where we go, and we get our pumpkins and we get our hay, because we put a hay bale by our front door. And we would get a pumpkin for Baxter. I would get a pumpkin. The last couple of years, my parents never wanted a pumpkin. There was a time where we technically got 5 pumpkins. I got a pumpkin, my sister got a pumpkin, my dog got a pumpkin, and my dad got a pumpkin. Wait, hang on, that can't be right. My mom got a pumpkin, my dad got a pumpkin, I got a pumpkin, my sister got a pumpkin. Yeah, 5. There was one time we got 5 pumpkins. Now, the last couple of years it was down to 2. It was my pumpkin and my dog's pumpkin. I would ask my dad, do you want a pumpkin? No, I don't want a pumpkin. I'm like, okay. My dad's not that mean. I'm just trying to sound like him. I don't know. But that's where we go, and they have a pretty good deal. So I highly recommend that place. Dang, it's hard because every year I would always get a pumpkin from my Oma. So technically, we would get 6. One from my Oma, my grandma. And I would bring them over to her house, and I would lay them in her house because you can't obviously carve them too soon because they'll go bad. So I would normally go there like maybe 4, maybe 5 days before Halloween and carve the pumpkins. I would carve the dog's pumpkin, and then I would carve my pumpkin, and then I would carve hers. I don't want to say I did it in that order, but altogether I would carve like 3 pumpkins. I don't want to say whose I did first because every year it was a little different. Some years I did my pumpkin first. Some years I did Oma's. Some years I did the dog's. It really wasn't. It really didn't matter whose pumpkin I did first. Altogether, I would be there for like almost 8 hours doing the pumpkins because I really loved cleaning the pumpkins out. I know some people just go like, okay, clean it out. Okay, there's a couple seeds left in it, whatever. No, I go deep and tail when it comes to cleaning pumpkins. I scrape it out like there's no tomorrow. I get every spinking, is that even a word? I get every stinking seed out. I clean it out. I gut it out to the point where it's perfect. I soak it in bleach, water, and lime juice to make it try to last longer. And then my grandma, my Oma would always make the face, and I would carve it. Now, each year I did something different. Depending on, like when I was younger, I would always decorate the pumpkin depending on what I was going to be for Halloween. Like one year I carved in NCIS because I was an NCIS agent. One year I did the bears, even though I wasn't a bears player. But like one year I did a princess. One year I did a witch's broom and stars and a hat. So some years I try to make my pumpkin related to what I'm going to be for Halloween. Some years I do it depending on what's popular that year. Like one year I did the Hillary Clinton sign, the Hillary Clinton H. One year I did the H for Hillary Clinton. So it really depends on whatever. I don't know what I'm doing this year, to be honest, but yep. Pumpkins are fun. Pumpkins are fun. So I'm gonna go. I'll talk to you all later. BB out.